Jay coming at you with another video. This video is regarding the Dark Magician deck Hyper Budget, and it's also the version that a lot of people ask for. So, in case you didn't know, since somewhere around 2002, I've been selling Yu-Gi-Oh! Not a lot, but here and there. I usually do mainly here locally, like at the locals, at the shops, or wherever I go. Like if I go to uh, the swap me or something, the decks. Usually, I don't know, in a year, I can sell somewhere around. It depends on the year. Some years are really good, some years are not as good. But I mean, the minimum maybe like 15, 20 decks. They're not all the same copy. They vary different types, like hyper budget or if they're doing a tournament. So this one in particular, I wanted to talk about because I wouldn't say it's a bestseller, but it is the deck that people lean towards a lot when I'm selling some of the decks. As you already know, the Dark Mission deck starting was very cheap, and people didn't buy it. And that's the time I repeat myself, but it's because it's my win, but it's a loss for everybody else. So if something good happens to you, you can say it all you want, and people don't tend to say the bad things over and over. The good things, yes, it's always a good reminder. As I said, I bought somewhere close to like 10 decks. I think it was like 8 decks. There were some around $35, $40 for each deck. They were pretty much complete. Now, those decks were turned around and sold for like 500 and something each. Some of the cards were actually like LOB editions. I've gotten some of the first editions before, and those single cards alone are like 1,000 or more. And a lot of people didn't really care about the Dark Magician, so I did return back in 2019. So I was lucky to jump on everything somewhere around May, before October, and you already know the release of the Magical Heroes on December 2019. By 2020 January, the cards were already out and people were already playing them. But basically, the transition went low, then high, then low, then high, and then it took another dive currently. So there's a lot of reprints. When I tell people about the cards, a lot of times they call me a liar, or they say I'm making it up, or what I'm saying is not true. I don't sell it for that price. It's always a list of negatives, but it just has to do with whether you're financially smart or not. I always tell people to give it. I always give advice because I do things myself first, and then once I pass through it, then I give the advice. I'm not just thinking it because I feel like it, because I heard it on YouTube, because someone told me. This is all just me. I do it, and then I share my review. People who take advantage, they get a lot of money. They never pay for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You make 100% of the profit, and it's not like you're gonna become a millionaire, but it is good to have a lot of extra money and a lot of free cards. But a lot of people don't like to do that. So this is a deck that people have been asking for. I've sold, I don't want to say a lot, maybe less than 10 decks of this. Somewhere around maybe like 6, and I'm about to sell 2 more. And I have somewhere around 5 or 6 different online shops, and then I sell here locally too. Like I was saying, is where I sell most of the stuff. So the thing about this deck is people orient towards, um, I'm gonna be looking at the deck right now, but they orient towards the tournament version, or close to a tournament, or something similar to being competitive. But even in the nowadays market, people don't want to spend a lot, like anywhere from 120 to 150, no more. It would be considered budget. A lot of people are going to argue and say a $50 deck is a budget, $80 deck is a budget. But I mean, technically, if you're paying competitive, it is, but it is also trash. So you have to decide: do you want to throw away in the trash $80 because the deck's not going to do anything? There is some decks that are really good. I advise the Super Heavy Samurai. It is the deck of the month, so I am gonna be posting it on Discord. It's very broken, low key broken, and it has a lot of potential. I really feel like the deck can be tier one later on. It's very broken if you know how to play it and you don't know how to stop it. I uploaded a video to the Discord only, so only the Discord people are gonna be able to see it. The videos, there's a lot of videos that I don't put public, just only the people on the Discord get to see all that content. But basically, moving back to the deck, we're gonna go into the deck and take a look at it, prices, and then so that you see. And this is the deck that people seem to orient towards because it's very cheap. I'm gonna be talking about how much so far, and then I'm gonna give like another 9 again, soon, within maybe a few months. So I'll be giving around 18 of them for free. So and the other ones I already gave a lot, more than 20 copies for free. So if I can give that many cards for free, I'm going to be getting close to 40, 50 free cards. At your locals, they should be able to give you free cards. Or you should be able to have some friends that could give you some of those cards for free. They're not expensive. Now, if you want to buy them, you might be looking at $1 to $2, $3 per card. But like I said on my channel, everything's just for your benefit, and you make all the money. So then after that, we got the two of those copies of the Bestial, and then we have three Princess Illusion. So you already know what it does. So those are usually $1 to $1.50 per card. Back in the day, they were $1 to $2, and then they skyrocketed to 10. And I think the jump were like $45 a card. And a lot of the LDC6 or something like that, LDS6, I forgot, but from the Magical Heroes, they were somewhere around $12 per card. And then they got reprints. They got a lot of reprints, and the current ones are probably like $2 to $3 per card. When I told everyone to buy those, they were probably like $1 per card. So I gave a lot of those out, probably like 30 copies of those I gave away for free. They were as low as $1 per card, and I bought a bunch. I think I bought like 60 copies. And what you want to do is buy them in bulk, like at 3. So you can buy 10 or 12 playsets, and then you can just resell them, right? Because that's what I did. And the Princess Illusion Magician by themselves gave me somewhere around $1,400 worth of gain. Not that it gave me not that it's like a profit, full 100% profit. That's what it gave me, because a lot of those cards were $1 to $2, and then when they skyrocketed, I had bought a bunch of playsets. When they skyrocketed to like $12, I was selling them $10 per card. They're $30. Some of my online stores, you can still see the listings. They delete after 1 or 2 years, but I think my last year I sold like 3 places. That was $90, and those were $1 each that I bought them for. So that's pretty good. Right now, like I said, they're $1 each. I give them away for free as well. And then you have the Dark Machine Girl. That's obviously for free. I give somewhere around 30 copies of Dark Machine Girl for free a year. And then the rods, they're free too. So then when you buy the rods, they're probably $1.50 per card. If you get it cheaper, that's good. A lot of people tell you on TCG Player, but they're lying to you because you have to pay shipping, and it's $1. So it's the $1 they tell you plus the $1 for shipping, so they're lying to you. So everything's $2. So this deck is $80, even at $1 a card, but that's a lie because some of these cards are $10, $10 a card. So be careful. A lot of people lie. You can tell when people are lying because you tell them give it to me for free, and they won't do it. They probably don't have the money, or they're probably not financially smart. But then you got the Spellbook Prophecy. He's $1, and then your first expensive card here is Magician Souls. Not as expensive as it used to be. Magician Souls used to be at the max $140 to $150 card. I sold 3 playsets for $130 each card. I made a fortune on those cards, and when they came out, they were somewhere around $40 to $45 per card. I made so much money off the Magician Souls, and then they got a lot of reprints. And then the current ones, I think they're $20 per card. So this is the most expensive in this deck, a $20 card, Magician Souls. And obviously, if you don't want to play the other 2, you can just play 3 fusion deployments, and you should be good. The other one is Jester. So Jester can be special summon or normal. You can chain him into going into Magetsu, the Moon Maiden, and then you can use the restage to bring him back, and then you can link up straight up into Crawley and draw 2 cards. Or he could just go into Relinquish and Absorb, or he could just be an extender to make follow-up plays. There's so much things you could do with it. You could discard it. There's so many things you could do with it. There's just so many cool things you could do with it for a budget. After that, you got DMA, and Dark Magic Attack. It comes in clutch at points if you need to draw a card with Eternal, or you just want to blow up the back row, or you need it for discarding. Whatever the case, you have access to get it. You could trigger it too, and then it'll trigger to get your rod back. If you have a spellcaster in the field, if you know that combo is very basic. Then, what everybody loves, the turbo, 3 Red Eyes Fusion. So there you go. Hopefully everyone's happy now. I don't really like this deck. This is just what people ask for. So um, yeah, so you got the 3 Red Eyes Fusion to bring out the big bad werewolf, the dragoon. he's really nothing. And then you got the secrets, and then you got your knowledge. Those are $1 each. And then you got the upstart $1. Inheritance is about $2. And then you have the soul servants. Soul servants vary. There were 7, then 10, then there were 15. The current reprints. Currently, I think they're probably like $10 a card, somewhere around there. Now those cards, when the ultra rare was the only copies available, they skyrocketed to $45 or $50 for the first edition per card. So we're looking at a playset for $150, and I was selling them like hotcakes. I got those cards when they were about $9 a card, so I made a fortune on that. And that's how I bought one of my cars. I bought a car. It was 3 years ago, and I bought it from a bunch of magician souls that I saw. That was so funny. So okay, so then uh, back to the deck, the fusion deployment. The fusion deployment, they used to be about $15 a card. I sold about 6 playsets of these. They were $2 a card, and they skyrocketed to 15. So I made a fortune off of those. They were reprinted, and they were only $1 a copy now. So you could play 3 of them. If you don't want to play the Magician Souls, that's what you're gonna want to play. Then you got the call by, that's $1 or free, and then the secrets, that's free, and then the super poly. I told people to buy super poly for like 6 months. No one listened, and then I had like 50, 60 super polys sitting here in my room, and I was just selling them at like $9, $10 a copy. It's so hilarious. So yeah, I give super polys away for free. So yeah, this deck is gonna have a free super poly, and for whoever buys the next one. So yeah, the super poly, you got a lot of targets. Because the deck is budget, you're not gonna have that fusion, the bird, um, because it's a bit expensive. The card was actually very cheap. It was like $4, and no one listened to me to buy it. I bought like 10 copies, resold them for like 15, 18 bucks a copy. Um, then you got the restage, one of the most hated cards uh, in the Dark Magician community. He it's a big play for the Magician Souls with the right hand, but because they're gonna want to be playing what's it called tournament, you're gonna want to be triggering that to get it and then draw and then absorb. Without the right hand, you don't need the right hand or the left hand. Just as long as you have that one is enough. People are gonna argue and say, well, why don't you just play Monster Reborn? And I made 2 videos dueling against like a tier 1 style that had like 4 or 5 negates, and I got over all the negations, and then I played the card, and I drew 2 absorb, did like 5 plays. I ended up with 4 or 5 cards in my hand, and I won the duel. Um, it was to do with the combo sequence that I do. There's just too much going on. Even when I play against the what is it called, the tournaments Ishizu, I'll play all those cards first, and they burn it, and then it leaves all the other 4 or 5 cards. Um, yeah, it leaves all my other 4 or 5 cards untouched, and then I spread out from there, and that's how I beat them. Because they stopped 2, 3 negates, and then I still have the rest of my cards. All I did was play 2 cards, Magician Souls, and then the restage. Because I bring the Dark Magician, they pop it, then I trigger the restage, and then the restage triggers. Then they pop that. Then in the graveyard it activates, and then they negate the effect to draw from my deck. So they stopped about 3, 4 moves, and then I still have 4 or 5 cards, and then from there I'll board out. I posted some of those duels, but only the people in the Discord got to see that. So those are tier 0 decks. In case you didn't know, they do 6 to 10 negates per turn. So okay, so then after that you have the 2 circles. Everyone argues about the 1 or 2 or 3, and to be honest with you, try the 2. You'll notice you don't need more and you don't need less. But if you don't want to play any circles, then don't play them. But I mean, the correct number is 2, because you're not going to want more, you're not going to want less. But like I said, if you don't want them, then just take them out. And then you got the Salvation. All of those cards are usually free. Even the Restage, I give those away for free. And then the Salvation, they're about $2 or $3. And then you have the there can only be one. It has a combo in this deck to where you lock your opponent, but you're not locked because you're chaining, and that's how I get rid of a lot of decks. And then you have the skill drains. They used to be extremely expensive. They were like $10, $12 per card. And when they got the reprint, I told everybody to buy them. Again, nobody listened, so I made a lot of money from the skill drains. I had so many skill drains. I felt like I had two 40 card decks. It was crazy. And I felt dumb because I had way too many skill drains. It felt like I had two different decks, but it didn't feel dumb after I got all the profit from it. It wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't feel dumb anymore. But then they got a lot of reprints, like 3, 4 reprints after that, and they ended up being $1 to $1.50 per card. So hopefully you get your skill drains. So yeah, those are about $6 or $7 worth of skill drains, and then the Eternal Souls, those are free. I give those away for free. So once you add the deck, like what do you actually pay if you get the cards without my help? You're probably looking at $100 to $110 for the deck is what you're looking at. Now, if you take my advice, the deck will end up be costing you $80 to $60, somewhere around there. If you have friends like me that give you most of the cards for free, well, then the deck is probably somewhere around $55 to $50. Considering some of these cards are $20 one card, and some of the other cards are $3, $4. To be honest with you, the deck is somewhere around 85 $85. But like I said, a lot of people are not smart enough, so they'll end up spending more, like $95 $100 on the deck itself. So yeah, I gave you the prices. You're looking at 50, 55, 60, or possibly 80 all the way to 95, no more than that. If you do that, you're probably not that smart. So those are the price ranges depending on how financially smart you are. If you're number one, you probably just come to the end of the tournament and win this deck for free at the end of the year. It will cost you $0. So then, as I usually give out a deck at the end of the year, sometimes I just do a bunch of singles. This last year, I think I did $500 to $600 worth of free cards giveaway. There was a lot of people, especially on the Christmas gift list. So after that, we got the deck out of the way. We're gonna be looking at the extra deck. This deck we got Dragoon. When the ultra rare was like hot, it was $180 a card. A lot of people still don't believe me. And then it was just normally sold at $130 to $150. I sold a bunch of copies. Those copies were $40, $35 to $40 when they came out. Nobody cared except for me, right? And then yeah, that money got used to remodel my home. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then now we have the Dragonite. Also, nobody wanted them. The Dragonites, I got a lot of them from free in 2019 when I came. I went to several locals here, and these people were giving to me the cards for free. Like I told them I played Dark Mission, everyone was laughing, and they just gave me some for free. So those cards turned around and sold for $20 to $25 to even $30 per card. A lot of people don't believe it. It doesn't matter what you believe. The money came in the bank, so that's the reality. So yeah, the card got reprinted, and it was $1 to $3 per copy. And then the other notorious card is the Dark Magicians. That one skyrocketed from $20, $25, $45, and then it blew up all the way to $100 per card. And they were selling like hotcakes at $120, which I sold a lot of them. So they got the reprint finally, and then they shot all the way down to somewhere around $10 or less per copy. The card's probably $10 right now. And then you got your Starving Venom. Those were anywhere from $1 to $3 depending on what rarity you get. And then the other two, the Naruto and the Phantom, they're about $1 a card. Then you got the Phoenix, and then you got the Crawly, $1. All of those are $1 for the Swordsman. It's the dragon card that you make Dragoon with by linking, and there's a combo there. And then you have the other one, Inmuk. It's a free. And then now the Moon Maiden used to be max of like $20 per card. But no, it came to free. They're free. They're free. I have a bunch of them. I gave, I think, 6 or 7 for free. It's funny because those cards were as high as $17 a copy, and I sold a lot. And then all of a sudden, I'm just giving a bunch of them away for free. So right now, I have 3 leftover copies, and 2 people already asked for them. So Adele, if you're watching the video and you want one for free, let me know. I'll give you one for free. And then you got the what's it called, the relinquished anima. That one was like $10 to $12, and it lowered all the way to $1, and then it went free. So I think right now they're like $5 a copy. Hopefully you got them when I told you. So the extra deck somewhere around $30 to $35. But if you got the cards when I told you to get them, it's probably like $25, which is not bad. Remember, this is a hyper budget. Like, you can't go any lower than this and be competitive. Now you're gonna argue and say, oh yeah, you can play some Ash Blossom and this, and they're gonna start taking some cards away from the deck and substituting them for something, and then right away they're at $200 for the deck, when I can build the deck for $80. So they already went over by more than $100. So you can take their advice, or you can take my advice, or you could just get the deck for free, this whole deck for free. At the end of the tournament, at the end of the year. That's pretty much it. The video's gone for long enough. Hopefully you like it. And this is the deck that people have been asking for. They've been wanting the other bestials, but some of the bestials, some of them are like $50, $60, $65 per each one. Some of them are like 20. The other ones is like 15 or 10. It's crazy. The supers, I don't know if one of them is secret, I think, and they can get very expensive. This deck with the full bestial and even expensive cards, you can easily go back to $800 what the deck used to be. But like I said, this is just budget. A lot of these cards I'm just giving away for free, and the whole entire deck I give away for free too. So that's why it's the planet Earth's cheapest, most budget Dark Mission, and most powerful and competitive at the same time. And that's the type of deck that I play, because I wanna feed Dark Mission decks to the world, and then I want to see them win. And yeah, so anybody else, they sell them $300, $400, $500 Dark Mission deck, and they still don't operate really good. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this. Let me know in the comments below. This is the Dark Mission Turbo version of the deck that I'm selling. So I think I sold 6 or 7. I need to go look at my online. I could be wrong. 6 or 7 I've sold so far, and then 2 people are asking for it again. So I'm gonna rebuild it again. It takes me about 4 to 5 days to build it, and then after that 2 more are gonna be sold. Averaging prices anywhere from probably like 80, 95, or 130 per copy of this deck. Now obviously, if you want to play the top tier version, you already know people are gonna pull some of these cards that are trash, like 2 Apprentice and then the Jester, and then they're gonna throw in the 2 Magician Souls to complete the playset, and then they're gonna be putting in the Illusion of Chaos, which are like $35, $40 per copy. Those copies started at $95 a copy, and everyone bought them because they're not smart. So I waited a bit, and then waited until they were like $25 a copy, and I think I bought 6 playsets. Then I resold them when they reached 40. So yeah, it's always good to not pay 1 cent for your Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like, you can have $50,000 worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and you didn't pay $1. Free, everything's free. And that's the way that I like to do it. Everybody likes to do it their own way. There's a reason why I give a lot of free cards, because I know what I'm doing. So hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions or concerns, if you want to buy one of these decks, if you want help building it, and like I said, Adele specifically, this is what your deck is supposed to look like. I know you're going to be missing some Baldric and some of these other cards like Skill Drain. Let me know. I'll give them all for free to you, so you can finish your deck, and it's going to be looking somewhat like this build right here. Even though you're not able to go to the locals, the deck might be you might be cashing in later as the deck goes up in price, as a lot of cards started soaring up in price again. 2020 was the best year, by the way, so far. So with that having been said, Dark Magician Turbo, so that you don't say I don't like it or I didn't build it, here it is. It is the hyper budget. The deck is going to be given away for free, and then I'll stop making them as soon as I sell 10 copies. So Yeah, I got 3 more copies left to go, and like I said, they're sitting anywhere from $95 to 130 per deck, depending what it costs for me to get. But one of those copies is going to be given away for free. So hopefully I can finish all this up, and the video's gone long enough. And with that having been said, hopefully you like it. Let me know in the comment of your ideas if you think it's trash, if you think it's good, if you think it's good that I give away the deck for free, blah blah blah. And with that having been said, Dark Magic Attack.